One. What's up, guys? Dave here with Felicia Spencer, UFC superstar, always featherweight contender. What's up, Fee? How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good, doing good. I'm rocking the new shirt here.
My goodness, that is
Loving
the
it.
greatest thing I've ever seen. I don't know if you can see. I can.
Oh, we're matching.
Oh my goodness, didn't even mean to. Literally put the kids to bed, and I was wearing other clothes. I was like, let me just put this on real quick to do this, and boom, that's what we do. What we do
Heck yeah.
feels good, right? It's a nice. That's a nice tee.
It is, it is. It's a nice, definitely the hair does it.
Hey, I've been called worse. All right, so it's Felicia Spencer's phenomenal pick, UFC Vegas 40. It's crazy. I think we've been doing this since UFC Vegas 5, 8, 10. We're at
Oh
40.
my
We've done
God.
pay-per-views in between. Last week didn't go our way. Good and won all three rounds with Randy Brown. You texted me a little bit before the fight. You're like, hey, Dave, he missed weight. That might be good for us. But did get the job done. Randy Brown's a badass.
Oh
Really good
yeah,
fighter. I'm really
I
intrigued
like.
to see what's next for him.
Yeah, I mean Randy Brown's always exciting to watch,
Yeah.
So it was definitely an underdog pick for a reason. So it's
Right.
always statistically it's going to be challenging for us to always get on a win streak, but we're going to try.
Hey, it's what we do. What we do. I'm really this card. Okay, so the card is stacked. Again, like I said, it's a Felicia Spencer card when you have Arlovskis and Jim Millers and really gritty veteran fighters on here. So I know it's up your alley. But of course, the main event is a female featherweight fight, and it doesn't have Amanda Nunes or Felicia Spencer in it. I didn't even know those existed. So I'm so
Yeah,
intrigued.
right.
Um,
It's not for a title. Like that's pretty awesome.
yeah, I think
That's
that's
pretty awesome.
everyone. It seems like I don't know why people are so adamant about like, hey, is this division not going to happen? Is this division not going to go further? What happened to Amanda? It's like, no, guys, let's give it time. It will build up. It will be organically. It will be a really good division. Lad, I think should stay here in the featherweight, and I hope she does good. To be honest, so she does feel good here. And then she's fighting someone. I really don't know her name. I'm not too sure who she is. No. Dumont's a stud. She's really good. I'm bitter. She won a split decision against the greatest fighter to ever live in her last fight out. So I don't know how you feel about it, Fee. But first, let me have your take on the main event because it is a female featherweight fight, and then let's go with your phenomenal pick.
Yeah. So the main event, obviously, I'm intrigued. I think both of them could win the fight. I mean, either way, it's a good situation because they're both kind of neither person has ever faced Amanda. Either person could really take a big step up in the division. I think again, like encouraging Lad to stay at featherweight with a win would be extra great. I always feel like if someone has a win over, me, that I would want them to like be the best of the best. So I kind of am like, oh, if Dumont, looks great, then you know, um, if if I'm getting beat by the best fighters, then it's a little bit better than getting beat by mediocre
Sure,
fighters. But
sure.
yeah, either way, you know, if Dumont lost, it could even set up maybe a rematch or something like that. It could be interesting, but yeah, so I like the main event. I'm excited. Obviously, I could see it going either way. I could see this being a finish. I could see this being a decision. I think I'm going to be intrigued the whole time. My pick, this was a really hard card for me. A lot of the underdogs, or I should say, a lot of the favorites, I really wanted to pick. So I ended up going with one that was a slight underdog in the co-main event. You mentioned his name already, Andre Arlovsky. He's fighting Carlos Felipe, and I could see, obviously, with these picks, it's like it's always hard for me because I could see it going either way. But I think Arlovsky's looked really good in his last couple of years here, and he's very, he's got a lot of he's just got a lot of strategy involved. Like he's going in there to win and do what it takes to win, whether that's finishing or decisioning. And he's faced the best in the world. He's been the best in the world. So I think he definitely can pull out another victory here. Um, but my favorite fight on the card, aside from the main event, or the main event, is Julian Vasquez fighting, or I'm sorry, Marquez,
Yeah.
right? Julian
Yeah.
Marquez
Marquez versus
and
Jordan Wright.
Jordan Wright. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is my favorite fight on the card. Like, I feel
Oh,
like that's going to be over,
yeah.
before the decision, before the final ballot. And I feel like it's going to be fireworks the whole time. That's a fight to look out for and really, make sure not to miss. Like, that's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, that's the people's main event for sure. There's
Yeah.
always a fight on each card. That's not the main, or the people that are in the know, they know that's the cool fight. That's the fight you got to watch. That I agree. That is definitely the fight to watch. All right, so back to your Orlovsky pick with your phenomenal Spencer pick is, it's funny, like Orlovsky, and I heard it on the Anik and Florian podcast. Like, he's almost been written off like 3 different times because like 15, 16 years ago, he was like the champ. And then he kind of like, he lost a couple in a row. And then he went over to Bellator and Strikeforce and all that stuff. And he was kind of written off. And then he came back to the UFC. And then he had a good run, but then he lost like 3, 4 in a row. Remember that crazy first round to Travis Brown?
Yeah.
The people almost wrote him off. He's actually won 3 out of his last 4 fights. Like,
yeah, exactly. He's looking great.
Yeah, he looks really good. And I think he looks his IQ, his fight IQ's gotten a lot better, and he's kind of getting out of those wars. And the chin's still there. Sometimes it's you can think it's suspect, but I think it's still there. I like Arlovsky in the spot as well. I do.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm fighting off the cold here. I'm fighting off sinusy Florida stuff. So let's talk about that. You're not in Florida. You're in New York. What are you in New York for?
I came up here just for a couple of days. I just wanted to just kind of step out of my comfort zone a little bit. I'm kind of I'm happy at home type of person and happy training where I'm comfortable. But I thought for this camp, I really wanted to just, step out a little bit and just train with people I've never trained with. Just kind of like take that extra step in that direction. And I'm really glad. Yeah, I went to Matt Serra's gym. He invited me to come, and great group of people, super talented at that gym, super high level jiu-jitsu and great vibes. Like had fun every time I went. We've been here for 3 days, and yeah, it's been a blast. I took Todd with me, and it's definitely been a fun experience to like I said, like just to step out and just like, I'm not, it's not something that I do a lot. Like go train with people I've never, be in a room full of people I don't know and just kind of like, try to get comfortable there.
I'm always surprised about or always intrigued about, is there always, even Matt Serra himself or other great fighters there or great teachers there, are they sometimes like, wow, dude, like Fee's better at kicking than we thought, or, better a little bit striking more than you thought? Or are they sometimes like, wow, we thought like something generic that they would say or something simple, be like, well, you haven't learned that yet and at your home gym, like opposite, or is it just like they're always more pro positive than negative?
Yeah, I would say it's very positive, and no matter what, when you go to a, especially so far away from like your local community of people you're training with and like cross training with, there's going to be differences. And that's what's really kind of cool about it is like, oh, you do it like that. Oh, I've never seen that. Or like,
Right.
Oh, just, I like to do it like this, and then no matter what, you're going to get to see something you've never seen before. And just going through like just some basic, drilling, like a passing guard drill. I just did something to like one of the people that they hadn't like seen before. Like, can you show me what you did again? Like, what'd you do?
Right.
That was really weird. Like that you did. Yeah, I do this all the time, So, but then they showed me stuff that I hadn't really, not that it's like groundbreaking, but it's like, oh yeah, I haven't done it like that, or like, what did you do there? So it honestly just feels like another class. So that's what I'm really glad about is like I was able to just feel like I'm taking another class. I'm just part of the team there, just taking a class.
Right.
Learning alongside everybody, and it would be the same if they came to my gym, So
right. I
so
said
yeah,
all the time,
super cool.
If another banker went to another bank, there's just ways to different bank. If a teacher
Yeah.
went to another class of being, how to teach the kids, it's just different eyes, different, ways of doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
2 last things about this card. One is, we talked about before we kind of went on air about Loopy. She just fought 4 or 5 days ago, the last UFC Vegas 39, got a win. And now she's back. She's like the female Chimaev, literally trying to fight in 6 days. It will be the quickest turnaround, will be the quickest 2 wins ever. I don't know why I'm so intrigued with this and why I maybe as because I'm so outsider of it. And tell me if I'm way off based on this. Like if I was a fighter, I would feel like I would want to do that. Be like, I would want to sandwich, especially if you're healthy, of course, and if you don't lose or if you don't take an injury. But if you're healthy and you feel good, I would assume your weight is still good. You're still on track. You're still like in a good spot. I would love to sandwich 2, 3, fights in a month or 2 months. Am I off base? Does that make sense? Or like, no, Dave,
Yeah.
you need some low time.
I mean, it definitely makes sense, like especially like assuming that you're not injured and you feel
Right.
good, and I mean your weight's not going to jump up in a couple days, So, and I think it's with the same weight class, or is she
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
depending on how hard of a cut, also if she was cutting a ton of weight, that would be something to consider. But yeah, I think that's really cool. I haven't ever had that kind of an opportunity to turn around like that, but there was a couple times in a row where I would fight and then get offered my next fight like a week later and then be in camp, 2 camps in a row. That happened a couple times in my UFC career. So yeah, and I kind of like that, but then it was like, all right, after this second camp, that would be like, 16 to 20 weeks of basically being in camp. I'm like, all right, I need some good time off now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be cool, to have, seamless victories just back to back or opportunities. I mean, no matter what, she's going to make some money too. So I'm sure that doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Little extra paycheck. So.
And like we came so far since the Ronda Rousey days and the Sergano days and Cyborg and Amanda, last card, female main event, Loopy and who else? It was all 4 bonuses were females last card.
Yeah,
This card's
right.
another female main event, featherweight division. One, do you ever kind of like pinch yourself, be like it's like that kind of guy girl MMA thing? It's over. Like female fights are just like male fights. There's no more like, oh, this is like history in the making. Like this is just another day, another card. To me, that's such a sign of progress when it's not a big deal anymore. When Loopy's doing this, it's like, dude, she can do it, he can do it. It doesn't matter sex anymore.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing is like it kind of like isn't it's not like a story anymore, really. Like sometimes it's nice to highlight people and like mention it, but it's like when there is like a small milestone, but it's not like oh that's news. Okay, like that, that's the first time that's happened. Oh, okay, that would have never come up as a thought. That's really like the sign of when things change, whether it's talking about something really sensitive and in the world politically or whatever people are offended by. Like if it stops being like shocking, then it's like, okay, that's progress. So we turned a corner. We really turned a corner. So it's definitely nice. And the part that like I'm always like, oh well, it's really nice to know is like that the featherweights in particular are gonna like hopefully continue to develop, and that was kind of like my goal, because I knew that the women would be fine in the UFC, like they'll be fine, but I wasn't always sure about the featherweights. So it's kind of nice to see more people kind of slowly coming in and hopefully staying, and after I'm gone there'll be more. So
well, you're not going to be gone for a long time, Felicia. You're wearing the greatest shirt ever. Hopefully gives you extra power in this fight camp. So to kind of close it, UFC Vegas 40, Dumont versus Ladd. And like I talked about, we'll end it here. We went longer than usual, and I appreciate it. So if Dumont wins, I would assume it's like, okay, a split decision. A lot of people thought that maybe you won the fight, and you even said like it was just a bad day at the office. I can't put my finger on it. It was a bad day. But if Dumont wins, she might be one fight away or even really, really close to a title spot, even if she gets like a nice finish. And that would kind of set you up there. Or I think, like you said, if Ladd wins, it really kind of is like, I think Dumont will stay because she has a win and maybe loses to, Aspen Ladd, who is the favorite going into this fight. And now Aspen Ladd, like, holy shit, like I might be one fight away, or she's 9-1 and young and her face has been on posters. They could do an Aspen Ladd, Amanda Nunes fight maybe, in the summer of 2022. It's so intriguing to me. Like, I feel like in a weird way, you win either way, if that makes sense. But I get that you would want someone that even, beats you in a split decision, kind of keep that momentum going. So hopefully one day you will get that fight back.
Yeah, and like you said, Aspen Ladd, she arguably could have already been fighting Amanda for the bantamweight title. So she
Right.
was,
Right.
she might not have even had to fight again, or she was going to fight Macy. Like the winner of that fight, or if she particularly won that fight, there would be no argument. Like she would be the next person to fight Nunes for the bantamweight belt. So now she's getting Dumont, same result. If she wins, she's gonna get I think she should get this featherweight title opportunity. She was going to fight Amanda either way. May as
Right.
well just do the featherweight.
Right. Right. Oh my
So,
goodness. I love it.
yeah.
Love it. Love it. Guys, Felicia Spencer, phenomenal pick is Andre Arlovsky. I'm not sure if you picked him yet. It seems like you did. I don't know. It seems like it was
I'm
maybe
not
versus
sure.
a
Yeah, I'm
Chase
not sure.
Sherman. I don't know. We got to look it up. We got to look.
Yeah,
We need
I
like
don't
an
recall
intern.
if I picked him.
We need a Fight Bananas intern to keep our picks and our records and stuff of that nature.
Right?
But
Yeah, I need to go back from day one and like write it down. I do have a picture I think I have a picture with Arlovsky from when I fought in Norfolk, but I don't think he was like too happy to take the picture. He seemed a little annoyed by it. So, or maybe it was Todd. I think it was me. I think Todd didn't want to keep bugging him, but
that's
yeah,
so
so I
funny.
don't think he was too happy about it. But maybe he was just kind of in a rush.
It's so funny. It's so weird. Like sometimes we're just at Game Bread FC like 2 weeks ago in Biloxi. If my cough will let me tell you the story. But like, Masvidal is there, of course, but like Jarrett Kinnear is there. There's probably like
Oh,
8
cool.
UFC fighters. There's like people in the corner or like friends of friends and all this stuff. And it's like, they're there to help their guy. You know what I mean? And it's like I
Yeah.
never want to like take that time and space, but then like, Frank Mir's there. I talked with Frank Mir for a couple minutes about some shit. And it's just like, I don't know. It's like, it's that weird thing. Like, and then sometimes like, if you don't say hi or whatever, and you like on social media, be like, hey, I saw you at Game Bird. It's like, why the F didn't you come up and say, hey, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's a weird fine line.
Yeah. I think it was like in a parking lot in front of the UFC hotel. So who knows?
It was Todd. It was Todd.
It was Todd. Yeah.
Well, awesome. Fee, get home safe. We'll see you in Orlando soon. Maybe,
For
I
sure.
think next week we'll try to do it live back in person. That's been
Yeah.
fun stuff. And
For
we'll
sure.
take it from there.
All right. Awesome.
Sounds
Have fun,
good. Have a
guys.
good night. Later.
Thanks.